Do you remember the vow you made in the dead of night? Not to some external god or to another person, but to the unscarred version of yourself, the one who saw the world not as a cage but as a canvas. You stood in the silent cathedral of your ambition and swore an oath to build a monument of a life carved from the granite of your will, unburdened by the rust of complacency. But time is a cruel architect, and its greatest tool is distraction. It whispers the siren song of comfort and convinces you that a lesser, easier path is not a surrender but a victory. It offers you the hollow praise of a life half lived and calls it peace. You have forgotten the sacred contract you signed with your own soul, allowing the deafening noise of the mundane to drown out the echo of your truest purpose. This is not a request to change. This is a reckoning. Your past self demands payment on a promise. You walk through a world built on broken oaths, and you have become another brick in its wall. Every time you chose comfort over courage, every time you traded a long-term dream for short-term solace, you chipped away at the foundation of that promised life. The slow, imperceptible erosion of your spirit is the most dangerous kind of decay. It does not announce itself with a violent crash. It settles in like a thick dust, obscuring your vision and muting the fire within. You see it in the listless stares of those around you, their eyes vacant from the slow poison of mediocrity. And you have begun to see it in the mirror. This is not the face of a man or woman at peace. It is the face of a prisoner who has forgotten the layout of their own prison. The path to your salvation lies in the ruins of your own choices. The lie you live is not an act of deception against others. It is a betrayal of the self. You wear the armor of a life you did not build, a facade of routines and obligations that were never your own. Your days are an endless procession of tasks and hollow victories, each one a nail in the coffin of your true potential. You convince yourself that this is stability, that this is the price of adulthood, but it is nothing more than a well-decorated tomb for your ambitions. This is the weight you carry on your shoulders, the heavy, crushing burden of a purpose abandoned. You feel it in your bones, that deep, unsettling ache that no material possession can ever soothe. It is the ghost of the person you were meant to be, a restless specter that haunts your every waking moment, a constant, silent accusation. The pain you feel, the gnawing dissatisfaction, is not a sign of weakness. It is the last, desperate cry of a dying ideal. Your soul is screaming a warning to you, begging you to listen before the silence becomes permanent. Do not medicate this pain with distraction or drown it in the shallows of fleeting pleasure. Instead, you must hold it in your hands and look at it for what it is, a gift. It is a living, breathing map back to your promised life. This ache is the proof that you are not yet completely lost, that the fire has not yet been extinguished. It is the raw material from which true resilience is forged. You must welcome this suffering, for it is the only compass that will guide you back to the path you were meant to walk. It is the sound of your spirit trying to break free. The first step of your true journey is not a heroic leap, but a painful admission. You must confess your failures not to the world, but to the silent judge within. Admit that you chose the easy way. Admit that you cowered from the fight. Admit that you let go of the hand of the one person you were sworn to protect, yourself. This admission is not a defeat. It is the foundation of your future power. It is the cold, sharp truth that will shatter the mirror of your self-deception. This is the moment when you become your own most ruthless drill sergeant, stripping away the lies and excuses until all that remains is the unyielding core of your being. This is the moment you reclaim your mind, not by force, but by a quiet, devastating act of brutal honesty. Do not seek a convenient time to begin this revolution. There is no such thing. Your freedom will not be found in a moment of leisure or in a sudden burst of motivation. It will be found in the relentless, grinding discipline of daily action. You must learn to find your courage not in the absence of fear, but in its very presence. You must become addicted to the small, difficult choices that others avoid, the choices that, in their accumulation, build an unstoppable momentum. This is the engine of your transformation. It is fueled by sweat forged in sacrifice and maintained by an unwavering commitment to your own potential. The path to your promised life is not a straight line, it is a climb, and you must love the ascent more than the view from the top. Your will is a muscle that has atrophied from disuse. You have allowed it to soften, to shrink, to become useless against the pressures of the world. Now, you must break it down and rebuild it stronger than before. This is not a gentle process of self-improvement. It is an act of psychological warfare against the parts of you that have grown comfortable with stagnation. You must train yourself to say no to the instant gratification that promises a temporary balm for your inner pain, but ultimately leads to a life of quiet desperation. You must learn to find pleasure not in consumption but in creation. Every time you choose the more difficult path, every time you choose purpose over comfort, you are not just building a life, you are forging a new and stronger self.